He was infiltrating a gang because his brother was in the gang. He was trying to get his brother out. And in one episode, he had to execute someone, but this person was very calm about the idea that he was going to die. And Russell's character said, "Aren't you afraid of death?" And the guy responded with, "Are you afraid of lunch?" And this really puts into perspective that death is an inevitable. There's no way to escape it. We all have an expiration date. Every single one of us. It is going to happen. The sooner you accept it, the better off you are. In Stoicism, there's this concept of harmonious mortality, which is the idea of understanding that you have only so long to live, and because of that, the fire within you should burn so bright as to be able to accomplish as much as you can with the time that you have. It isn't about trying to escape death. It's about trying to leave the legacy that you can in the time that you have. And that is when people have that kind of focus, that I have a limited amount of time that I can complete something, and so I have to make a plan in order to get it done. The stronger the motivation to have something happen, this is something that can help to, especially if they are disciplined of mind, it can help a person actually resist grifting, because their idea of what they want to have happen is going to be so strong that a person who wants to manipulate them to get something else would be very hard pressed to succeed. Um, to give an example, I have a very strong passion. The book that I'm writing right now, called The Leading Man, is going to be a part of a series of books, and this is really designed to help people understand how to best um, exemplify humanity. And if a grifter were to come along and say, "Well, I can help you do this," my question is going to be, "Okay, so how? Explain to me how you're going to help me achieve my vision, because my vision is very specific and I know exactly what I want to achieve. And in order for you to convince me to work with you, you have to show me that, one, you know what you're talking about in a very specified field, and that you show that you can help me by demonstrating that you can help me." And most grifters can't do that. They sell the dream without offering the demonstration.
That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact. And then they get mad at you for calling them out on that shit.
Yeah, because they've been made vulnerable.
Try to make you feel. To answer, there was so many different posts in here. Let me see where to answer Sydney's question, in my opinion, most of the politicians are grifters. I don't know. I don't have the numbers to support my opinion, but a lot of them are. Uh, Garrett,
Yeah, a lot of
you,
them have their hands in the stock market.
yeah,
Politicians become grifters when they
yeah.
stop serving the needs of the people, when they stop becoming civil servants and serving those that they represent, and instead use the position to serve themselves.
Sasha, Garrett, I don't know. I didn't see. I must have sped past that post where he made that comment. We are in a different time. Um, that is definitely a different conversation for another time. Um, we might have to spin back on that one. To be honest, if it wasn't for me, my family would not have savings. Financial literacy is not just a male quality. Yeah, we're going. Yeah, that's for another discussion. That right there can go on for a bit. And we at the closing side of it. Um, Shout out to the chat though, man.
It's on fire today.
Yeah, everybody been on one. Shout out
There
to
was actually
Monique for pulling up.
Sasha just said something about taxes. I just saw recently there was I don't remember what politician
That's a
said
grift.
this, but they said that paying taxes is actually voluntary, and they threaten you into paying your taxes, and so that's just food for thought.
Tell that to Al Capone. Oh wait, you can't. They arrested him for tax evasion, and he served out a life sentence. Oh, they also arrested Wesley Snipes for the same thing. They have arrested people for not paying their taxes for something that's said to be voluntary. Personally, it is not voluntary. However, it is unconstitutional the way that it is set up. But that again, that's a topic for a very different day.
Right.
As far this
I
is a
guess
great
we can.
question. Is grifting born more of need of domination, greed, or out of desperation? Greed and desperation are the two things that usually create the grift.
Absolutely, 100%. Otherwise, what would you need it for? And even I was going to ask the question, but it seemed like I already got the answer for it. Why would a person feel the need to do that?
Well, it's really desperation is a
Miss
pretty easy one. Greed, it's a love of money over the love of other people, and then desperation for greed takes account. Domination, this usually is a byproduct of after the grift has been successful, and the dehumanization of people, seeing them for less than what they are. Um, but that's usually not a primary motivator when it comes to grifting. It's usually the desire for greed. I would say that desperation is probably the biggest one, and then greed becomes second, and then domination is more of a byproduct.
Anna,
But
I I was just about to say, go ahead and do your thing. I wasn't trying to cut your wisdom. Go
no.
ahead.
So I was actually thinking about apathy and empathy. Believe that grifters have a very high level of apathy, because people that are empathetic and that can um, relate with people emotionally, like they would not do that. I mean, that's what I believe. They wouldn't find themselves doing something like that. You know, trying to make a come up on somebody else's back. Like, you literally have to be apathetic to do something like that.
So I'm going to strongly disagree with you, and not in principle of what you've said, but in practice. Because usually a grifter is someone who understands emotion. There's someone who has usually been so hurt and betrayed themselves that they have become disenfranchised and have chosen to detach themselves from an otherwise empathetic life. They have chosen to denounce that and the other side of that, which is apathy. They've gone to the dark side, so to speak, of what human connection is, because they've lost hope and lost faith in their ability to connect with others. And I only say that because of a lot of the interviews that I've seen of people who have grifted. Their story starts out very much like that. They were very sensitive people who got screwed over time and time again, and then said, "F that, I'm out."